Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, and today I want to introduce to you my latest collection, this Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens that I just got. So just want to talk about this lens, why I got this lens, what's the story behind it. Well, there's not much of a story, but here we go. Basically I wanted to have a very fast lens on my GH5, and I was looking into adapting a Canon lens, the Sigma 17-50mm f2.8, and I got that lens and it worked really well and it was fantastic. I really enjoy using that. I love zoom lenses, and f2.8 with the speed booster, it becomes f2 on the GH5, so it's pretty fast, it's pretty cool. Enjoyed shooting that, but soon I discovered that the lens had a problem, like the zoom ring was detaching. Like for example, if this is the zoom ring of the Sigma 17-50, this part, like this seam, is like you can bend it and see inside. You can see the electronics inside. So there's like a crack. Like it's not a crack, but it's almost like the zoom ring is detaching because it was Amazon warehouse deal, so it was secondhand. Somebody used it, and yeah, so I thought it was probably not really that safe. I mean, it didn't really affect the optic quality, but I didn't want to risk it. What if one day it just fall off and just break into two pieces, and I would just, you know, throw away 300 euros. Instead of that, I just send it back right away to avoid all those troubles in the future. So, and then I contemplated whether or not I should get the exact same lens again, but brand new, so a little bit more expensive, but this time quality will be for sure will be better, to be guaranteed to be good. But then I was kind of torn between the option of Sigma 17-50 and 17-70mm f2.8 to f4. I was considering between these two lenses because the 17-70 offers more range, though it's a variable aperture lens. I'm not a fan of variable aperture lenses, but I do love wide, long range, zoom range lenses. So I was a little bit hesitant, and in the end, I couldn't decide which one to take, which one to use, which one to buy. So after all that, I just happened to find out that there's Sigma. Like I knew that there was Sigma 30mm, 16mm, 56mm. These three trail lens. They offer for E-mount, for Canon, for Micro Four Third, but it never crossed my mind that I should get one of these Sigma prime lenses. So one day I just happened to found a review of the Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens. I realized, oh wait, there's this Sigma prime lens that offers Micro Four Third native mount, so I could get that one and use that to shoot, you know, portrait when I need to shoot portrait, or if I want to shoot some interesting stuff, create some bokeh, I could use this lens. So specialized lens. And the reason I don't want to get the 17-70mm in the end was that I realized that if I got that lens, I would probably abandon the Lumix 12-16mm lens, which also has a very long range. It's just about 24-120mm in full frame terms, and it's like they overlap so much. It would be a waste to have the Lumix lens. I would probably just shelf the Lumix lens, which would be a huge waste, a shame, because I really like this lens as well, though it's a very slow lens. But I think it's a fantastic all-in-one travel lens. It's native, it has autofocus, it has image stabilization. So why would I throw away this lens and to get the 17 to 70 just to get slightly faster aperture? So I eventually decided against that lens, and I thought getting this Sigma 17 to 50 f2.8 would be a little bit boring. Like I already tested that lens, I already did a review, already saw what lens can do, and I kind of wanted to try something new, something different. Then eventually I just decided to get a prime lens, even though I'm not a huge fan of prime lenses, but sometimes, you know, let's try. Let's see how, if someday I'll get bored of this lens, maybe I'll sell it, but let's hope not, because I do really want to be more consistent with my collection. Like I constantly buy and sell my lenses. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so that's the story behind why I got this lens. And when I got this lens, obviously there are three options. As I mentioned before, there are 16mm, 30mm, and 55mm. So 16, actually I owned 16mm f1.4 for the E-mount, but I lost it. I was trying to sell it, and I sent it via DHL, and DHL lost it, and there's nothing I could do. I just lost about 300-400 euro worth of lens for nothing, and yeah, I had to refund my buyer. It was very sad. But that was a fantastic lens. The reason I sold it is because I didn't have image stabilization on my A6200, and I didn't use it as much as I should. In retrospect, probably I shouldn't have sold that lens. One is, if I didn't sell that lens, I wouldn't have lost that lens. And second is that that lens is indeed really good, a fantastic lens that everyone should keep that lens like forever. I believe that's a very good value for the money. Yeah, the Sigma 16 is just awesome lens. And yeah, I didn't want to get the exact same lens. It's kind of sad. You know, I lost that exact same lens, and I get another lens for Micro Four Third that is the exact same. Didn't want to do that. Also, 16mm is about 32mm in full frame terms on the Micro Four Thirds. So I thought maybe it's not, maybe it's not long enough. It doesn't create as much bokeh. So I thought, let's choose between 30mm and 56. And the 56 will be too tight. It's over 100mm, right? It's almost 120. I don't want to do the math. 112. Yeah, it will be too wide. I can't use it for general purpose. Like, you have to stand so much far away from your subject to be able to shoot anything. So in the end, I decided to get the 30mm f1.4 instead. But 55mm would be a very great choice for APS-C lens for Sony E-mounts. Obviously, it's a fantastic portrait lens. But on the Micro Four Third, it's simply too tight. The 2 times crop factor is just too much. So I chose 30mm instead, which translates into a 60mm lens, focal length. What happened to my monitor? There you go. Okay. And f1.4, I don't really know how the math work. Like, the lens itself is designed for APS-C cameras. It's designed for it's like, imagine the body itself, the lens itself is, the glass itself is for APS-C. It covers APS-C coverage, and it has f1.4 aperture, but it just changed the mount to Micro Four Third mount. And when you put it on GH5, is it still f1.4? That confuses me. Like, shouldn't it be faster like APS-C? And APS-C f1.4 should be faster than the GH5 f1.4. I'm really confused here. Because if you use a native Micro Four Third lens, for example, f3.5 on GH5 would translate to f7 on a full frame to give the about the same amount of light and bokeh. But this one itself, it's APS-C lens. So the f1.4 indicates the APS-C f1.4. Therefore, should be faster than Micro Four Third f1.4. But imagine when you put a full frame f2.8 lens on the APS-C camera, the 2.8 is still valid. It behaves just like f2.8 on a native f2.8 APS-C lens on an APS-C camera. I'm so confused. I don't know. Is it faster? Is it faster? Tell me in the comment section. I'm a little confused. Usually I don't, I never had this kind of confusion before, because I just used the full frame and APS-C cameras, and it was very easy to do the math. I was used to it. The Sony Sony 1.5 crop factor. So yeah, it was pretty clear. I never did comparison like this, this is a very special case, I guess, because it was designed for APS-C. So let me know, what do you think? Is this f1.4 faster than a native Micro Four Third f1.4, or is it gonna behave the same? I think it's gonna behave the same, even though my heart doesn't believe it. My head is telling me that it is gonna behave exactly the same as Micro Four Third f1.4, because you're using on a Micro Four Third sensor. Even though the aperture is f1.4, but you cropped in the f1.4 doesn't change. It's still f1.4. It's just you cover less area of the sensor. So yeah, I guess. So f1.4 is a huge jump from f2 with the speed booster, the Sigma 17 to 50. No, it's not a huge jump. Like f2 is still pretty decent in low light, still pretty decent in terms of bokeh, and that lens will give you 50mm, pretty long range, longer than this. And at f2, it's actually pretty cool. So I don't know. Is it good trade-off? Should I just get the Sigma 17 to 50mm f2.8 on my speed booster, or adapt it with a speed booster instead? I don't know. Tough choices. We'll see how do I like this lens. We'll see. So far, I've taken some photos and also made some videos. At first, I thought it was not sharp enough. I did some comparison with the Lumix, the kit lens. I shot some different shots at different aperture with this lens and directly compared to the Lumix 12 to 60mm, and I didn't see a huge difference. Like, the sharpness is pretty much the same. There's no difference in sharpness, really. So the only advantage is that it is really fast. It's much faster. At f1.4 though, it does have some fringing, some purple green fringing, but that's something you can manage. You can correct in post. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah. Besides that, the build quality is really good. As always, the Sigma, those modern Sigma lenses are really fantastic build. Very beautiful metal build. A really premium look, even though it's inexpensive relatively. Yeah, the only problem I want to complain about, one thing about the build of this lens is the lens hood. It's so easily detachable. Like, you can imagine, like, when you walk around and you bump into someone and then it twists and yeah, it just comes off like that. Too easy. Like, there's no very hard click. It's like this click is too soft. It's not. At first, I thought I didn't close it well, but indeed it is secure. It is secure. Yeah, it's not secure at all. Like, you can turn it so easily, you can take it off so easily. That's what I don't like. But the build quality really is impeccable. Besides the lens hood though. There's no weather sealing? I don't think so. No, there's no rubber. There's no rubber thing, so yeah. No weather sealing. That's fine. I don't really shoot in the rain. Like, whenever it rains, I tend to cover my camera. I don't want to risk it, even though I know that GH5 is very rugged, very doable resistant, weather sealed. But generally, I try to avoid bad weathers. Okay, yeah, that's that. So another consideration about the Sigma 17 to 50mm lens f2.8 is that I do have to swap the speed booster because I already have the Sigma 10 to 20mm lens. So I have the speed booster on that lens, and whenever I need to use one of these two lenses, I have to choose where to adapt my speed booster on. So as you may already know, that speed booster inside the glass, you do have to adjust. You turn the glass a little bit to make sure the focus is correct. Make sure that you can find the focus at an infinity point. So those two lenses, they are different lenses. They're not exact same lenses. So they have different focal length. They have different, structure of the glasses or whatever. So if I adjust the inner glass in the speed booster according to the Sigma 10 to 20mm lens, it will be different. It will be a little bit off for the 17 to 50. And if I adjust for 17 to 50, it will be off for 10 to 20. So that will be a hassle. Whenever I want to change lenses, I would have to constantly trying to find the optimal focal. How do you even say that? Is there a term for that speed booster thing? You know what I mean. So it's a kind of a hassle. I didn't want to do that over and over, so I leave it to that, which is a bummer because having a speed booster is an advantage. Means you can adapt many different other lenses, different non-native lenses. But knowing that you have to adjust for infinity points all the time, every time you switch a lens, it just makes me want to give up the idea of adapting other Canon lenses. So there's that. Another reason not to get a Sigma 17 to 50. Shame. It's a pity though. It's a pity. I really enjoy shooting with that. Okay. Alright. Cool. I guess I'll put some sample photos and stuff in this video as I talk and post. What else can I say about this lens? Beautiful new Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens. I don't know. Like, I do love a fast zoom lens, but in reality, I don't always shoot at wide open because, very often I do shoot landscape, shoot street photography. I do want to have a little bit higher f-stop in order to have everything focused, to have sharp images. So in the end, maybe the fast aperture doesn't matter as much as people think, especially on a GH5, the Lumix 12 to 60mm, f3.5 to 5.6. It's not that bad actually. And also when you actually watch film, watch television, a lot of the time, like, you don't really see the cinematic shots. They are not always shallow depth of field or huge bokeh. It's not about that. It's more about the scenery, the tone, the coloring, and the composition and everything. Just blindly chasing after bokeh is probably not the best thing I should do. So yeah, there's that. And that reminds me of also the Lumix Leica 12 to 60mm f2.8 to f4 lens. That lens is more than twice as much as expensive as the Lumix kit lens, the f3.5 lens. But it offers only one stop faster aperture. So I don't know what's the point. Like, the build quality is fantastic, it's beautiful, lens it feels like a premium luxury item, but it's something that people desire. Like I feel that I desire that lens. I feel like I would love to have that lens, but in my head it just doesn't justify the cost. It doesn't make sense. It costs too much for what you get. Like, just one stop faster, f4. That's nothing impressive in Micro Four Thirds system. And even f2.8, even if it was, if it was f2.8 all through the whole focal range, then it would justify the price. But f4, no. Besides, you get only f2.8 at 12 millimeter focal length with that lens. So as soon as you zoom into 13 millimeter, it will become, I don't know, f2.9 or f3 something. So that doesn't really make sense to me. Even though I would love to have that lens. It looks beautiful. It looks just gorgeous, that lens. But it doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's hard to find a fast lens for Micro Four Thirds. It's always trouble. If you want to adapt lens, you're gonna sacrifice autofocus for video. Like, you can shoot some run and gun video vlogging with this Lumix little kit lens very easily. There's autofocus taking care of things. Even though it's not fast, at least you have this option. Let's try it. I did some tests recently of this Lumix lens as well as the Sigma 30mm lens autofocus. It was a little bit disappointing. It's very slow. It had a hard time finding focus. But it is what it is. Micro Four Thirds system. We are in this system, and we all know the weakness. Just hope someday they will, borrow some face detection or something. Borrow something from Sony. Just improve a little bit. You don't have to be super fast, top of the world fast. You just have to be A6300 fast. That is enough. That is not super new technology. It was from 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Or A7R2 fast would be enough for me. Really, A7R2 was fast enough for me. Even A7S2, actually. A7S2. People complain about Sony A7S lineup autofocus. I find it really nice. I find it really fast and accurate and very pleasing, especially. I think it's designed for video because they have this very smooth transitioning. When you focus on something, it doesn't just jump into the focus like what you use in modern camera. It will slowly, gradually move into the focus, and once it finds the focus, it grabs onto the focus and it stays there. And you don't lose it. That's what I like about the A7S2's autofocus system. It's pretty stable, reliable. It's not super fast. It's definitely not fast, but it's faster than GH5 still. Yeah. I just wish Panasonic can make a little bit improvement. That would be fantastic. Yeah, another thing I wanted to mention is that I always think, I always want to find a vlogging lens, always want to find a wide lens. The Lumix S5 comes with a 20 to 60mm lens. That's fantastic, full frame. 20, what kind of full frame kit lens starts with a 20mm focal length? No kit lens, no lenses at all. Like, that's awesome. That's a great move by Lumix, by Panasonic. I wish every camera manufacturer would produce a lens, kit lens, a zoom lens, standard zoom lens, start from 20mm instead of 24, let alone 28. Sony, shame on you, 28. So yeah, that would be fantastic for vlogging or landscape or general. Very, very, very nice. You can say I will sacrifice, the 70mm long range to get a 20mm wide angle. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I've been checking out a lot of reviews of the Lumix S5. I am interested, but I don't think I'll get it because, it costs money. Also, it doesn't shoot 4K 60p in full frame mode. You have to use crop mode. And another disadvantage is that you don't have enough lens for that lineup. Like it's L-mount Alliance that is just starting, so you don't have nearly enough lenses. It's pretty much like a Sony from 5 years ago, when Sony didn't have the lineup of their lens just yet. But now Sony has a huge arsenal of lenses, native lenses, as well as third-party lenses. So many companies are making lenses for Sony, Sigma, Tamron, and all those Chinese companies, Meike, Newer, all those. Everybody's making lenses for Sony. So Sony ecosystem is really thriving. It's going awesome. I wish it would happen for Panasonic as well, but well, it is not. Not so many people are developing Micro Four Thirds lenses. Yeah, that brings me back to the topic of vlogging. Like, imagine with 20 to 60mm, you can vlog with such a wide angle. It's awesome. But also, like, I always look at vlogging lenses, vlogging cameras, flip out screen, all those stuff. But I never vlog. I never actually talk to a camera. I never go out and hold the camera in front of my face and just talk. Like, I never do that. It's probably because I'm introvert and shy and I don't want to attract any attention. But yeah, it's a shame because it's a fantastic setup here, Lumix. This my entire GH5 setup. I really like this setup. I could have done so much more. If sometimes I just imagine if there are no human being existing on planet Earth, I would go out and shoot every day with my activity with my GH5 every step of the way, and I will vlog all the time. If there's nobody else, if there's absolutely no one watching, I would definitely vlog. But yeah, I'm not comfortable with holding a camera, pointing at myself, talking to it in public in front of strangers. I mean, I can do it. I can comfortably do it when I'm with friends somehow. But when I'm alone, I can't do it. So, which is a problem because I don't have many friends here. So, my friends sometimes they're busy. We don't always go to the same place. We don't always have the same interest. We don't always want to do the same thing, or we don't always have the exact same free time slots. So it's kind of difficult to find a time to to vlog with friends. And yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit of ranting, but we're doing right here. We are vlogging right now. Camera pointing at myself, and I've been talking to myself for 28 minutes. It's a very nice podcast. A little bit talk show monologue. Yeah, recently I started doing this. I attempted to do a podcast. So I was playing video game, right? Recording myself, and I just using the video game as an instrument to find this space to talk to myself, to talk to the microphone. And yeah, just talk about random stuff, about life, about whatever came across my mind, and whatever I wanted to talk about, or whatever I felt comfortable sharing with the public at large. This is one of the occasions where I want to share something, and I do feel the urge to talk to a camera quite often, but there are many times that I just, after recording it, I felt that the quality is not on par, and I didn't want to share it because I thought it was stupid. I was just talking nonsense. It was worthless. It doesn't contribute anything to the society, to the viewers. So I just withhold it and never publish them. Sometimes, I just halfway through the recording, I realize I don't really have that much to say, and I just stop recording. And all these things can happen. And unfortunately, yeah, talking to camera requires practice. Being able to do a podcast requires practice, requires talent. I don't have the talent. I'm not natural. And I do need a little bit of practice, and it's good for me. I know that I do need to improve my public speech skill. I do need to improve my, just speaking in general. How to conduct a dialogue, or in this case, a monologue. Imagine we're having a dialogue, you and me. I'm talking to a lens. Imagine you are listening all the time. You're a very good listener. You've been listening for 30 minutes without interrupting me, so thank you for that. Basically, sometimes when you listen to podcasts, they're not really talking non-stop, fully packed with the knowledge, with fresh facts and fresh ideas. Many times people just talk, repeating some stuff, or just talking some filler content. They joke a little bit, they add a little bit of analogy, add a little bit their own story or whatever. It's not always, you don't have to. I don't have to be so harsh on myself. Like, just talking and be relaxed and talk whatever. It's okay. Whatever you say, it's okay. It's fine. Don't feel judged. That's what I should do. Just relax, chill, and like talking to a friend with a beer. Cool. Very nice. I think we are almost done here. I think I'm gonna go off. Yeah. Just to show you the lens once again. 30mm on the APS-C. It's a 45mm lens, but Micro Four Third is 60mm. 45 is not wide enough. I don't really like a 50mm focal length, but it is a little bit. It is more versatile, I guess. I prefer either 35mm lens or just zoom lens. I don't know. I'm so picky. We'll see what this lens brings. Obviously, I'm gonna keep posting more sample photos and videos on this channel. So if you want to see more of these lenses, how it performs, so subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Hit the bell button. Click like. Share with your friends. I don't know why you would share this video with your friend, but share with your friends. Maybe you can share my review videos. Recently, one of my the most viewed video on my channel has hit 100,000 views. That's a huge milestone for me. So I'm really happy. Yeah, it was like last week or 2 weeks ago. I just hit 100,000 views on my review of the Sony 18-105 f4G lens. And I really like that lens, and I put a lot of effort, poured my heart into making that lens, making that video. So I think that 100,000 view is well deserved. I did put the effort. Most of the time, if I put the effort, I do see the results, that people actually do watch those videos. Like if I find a good topic and I do record it diligently, I do my research diligently, and do my make my sample photos and videos appealing, and make good thumbnails, then generally they're gonna get good views. For example, my recent Sony 10-18mm f4 lens review. Like I was aiming for a decent view, and I worked on it and edited, put all the sample together. I did voiceover, did a nice thumbnail. It turned out pretty nicely, getting thousands of views right now. In the future, next year, maybe 10, 20,000, eventually 50,000, who knows. I will see. So yeah, as long as I put effort, there will be a result. That's for sure. But sometimes I just upload a random comparison out of nowhere. It just gets a lot of views for no reason. I just don't understand. Sometimes it's like a throwaway video. Like I put it on YouTube. Okay, whoever needs it, search it, find it, watch it. I don't really care. And those videos just blow up, like getting thousands of views. Like I don't understand. Out of nowhere, like people suddenly are interested in those stuff. Something like an ND filter video, or A7 comparing to A6200, like 1080p video image quality comparison between those two cameras. That was a very bizarre, very niche comparison between A7 and A6300 in 1080p. Yeah, it got a lot of views. So yeah, sometimes it's puzzling, sometimes it's unexpected. I mean, my whole channel is based on something unexpected, because my very first review of this channel was the Samyang 14mm f2.8 lens review. I did it out of excitement. I was so excited about the new lens I got. That was like 4 years ago. So I shot this video imitating the reviewer Kai. I was doing a fake British accent. I was like so excited. I mean, I don't know. People commenting in the comment section that you are faking your excitement. It's so fake. It's stupid. You are dumb. You have dumb Kai voice. But it was the excitement was genuine. It's just I couldn't find a way to express other than to imitate what I watched the most back then. Like the most gear review video I watched was from what was the channel? Digital something. I don't remember. You know, Kai left the channel since 2 years or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that was my first review video, and it got a lot of views, huge views, and I didn't even think that this channel would ever grow this big, like getting so many views and so many subscribers. But that video just started it started the fire, started the first flame of hope or something. Spark of hope. Yeah, it's like I saw there is a possibility, there's a potential, there's a future. If I could just keep putting similar content on this channel, and people are gonna keep coming to watch those videos, and it is what exactly happened. What I didn't do was to involve more of my personality, more of myself, to build up a brand. So instead, I rely more heavily on just people searching out whatever they are looking for, you know, instead of building a follower. And also because I upload a whole bunch of different stuff, like tennis, sometimes video games, so people don't really, you know, if your channel is not specialized, people get confused. What is your channel all about? And today I subscribe for photography. Tomorrow you upload a bunch of video games. So I'm gonna unsubscribe. So this is what this was stopping me from getting bigger. But at this point, I don't really care that much. Like maybe in the future, I will care. Who knows? Yeah, that's a little bit additional talk I didn't expect. Okay. Wow, it's nice to talk to someone sitting across the table there, so close to my face. Yeah, all right. Cool. Let's zoom in. A dramatic sign off. Zooming in. And I will see you soon, my friend. Subscribe for more. Like, share, comment. Turn on the bell button or not. I don't care. I don't know if it really works. It probably works. Every YouTuber tells you to do that, so it probably works. But I don't care. See you.